A one-word description of Dennis Meade is quite the gentleman. He treated everybody fairly. He had a dedication to the school system. He was a scholar. We often talked about books. He had been in education for a few years, but it was my first year as a board member. I'd been elected to the board, and the board hired him as superintendent. So we actually started out together. So first impression was quite the gentleman.
The first time I met your dad was whenever I was a freshman in high school and I got sent to the principal's office for getting into trouble. He had a very nice conversation with me about how later, whenever I got into college, we had learned about biorhythms and why people do silly things. And now being older and having a teenager, I figured out that you just figure out when you have teenagers, they do things that just don't make any sense.
I came out of the hallway and I was, like usual, just trying to get attention and do something outlandish. I screamed the word really loud, and Dr. Meade came out right as I just finished saying it. He was like, "Eric, you don't talk that way." And what do you think your grandma would think if she heard you say that? And then, of course, I felt like I was about that big, and that was my first encounter with Dr. Meade.
Well, I think usually a superintendent's life expectancy in a superintendency is about 2 or 3 years, and I believe he was out there maybe 25 or 26 years, and that's an accomplishment in itself.
Well, one of the best things I can say about Dennis and working through the years was he was dedicated to the school. And when our opportunity came up that we could get a new school building, Dennis was on fire for that.
He was always in there pushing for me. He was always in there helping, and he was behind everything that I did with the children's theater, everything that I did with the plays, which turned into musicals and all of that.
Yeah, we knew he was in the band. We would ask him about his gigs from time to time, and he would play at the Legion and different things. And then in talking to him the other day, I asked him something about the band. Yeah, the neighborhood band is still alive and well, and I was glad to hear that he was still being active in that. And
I would have to say that Dennis is the type of individual that you learn a lot of things from when you're dealing with issues.
I don't think I ever saw him ever excited or mad or lose his cool. I mean, no matter what was going on around him, always perfectly calm.
He just is genuinely a decent guy, and you can tell that if you're around him for any period of time at all.
He's very likable. You like him right off at the very beginning. And then you find that he has a huge heart. And you find that he was in education, I think for all the right reasons.
Minford would not have today what they have if it wasn't for Dennis Meade.
I consider him a very good friend, a mentor, and I can only hope that I would ever achieve the levels that he's achieved in his life. He deserves the honor he receives, and many more.
We go to the OSBA conventions in Columbus, and Dennis always knew where the good shrimp was.
Dennis would have everything planned out. He knew where all the giant shrimp were.